Million Dollar Listing New York airs May 6th, and today I'm joined by none other than Ryan Serhant. So thanks for being here, Ryan.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I can just get straight into it. This season of Million Dollar Listing, are you going to touch on the pandemic's effect on the market and how people initially were moving out of New York, but as you've said recently, are moving back in?
Oh yeah, I mean, this season is unique in the sense that, well, one, we have a new cast member, so we can talk about that. But two, we started filming in mid 2019. And because season 8 aired in 2019, and so we started filming again for the next season, and season 9 was supposed to come out in mid 2020, and then COVID hit. And so you're gonna watch this season as everything's great, everything's normal, we're just trying to sell real estate in crazier ways than ever before, and then boom, cut to black. Cell phones go up and we started recording ourselves doing the deals or trying to save the deals that were dying because everything came to a screeching halt. And then we came back and then they went through the election, and now things are better than I've ever had them in my entire career. The market is completely on fire everywhere.
You know, you can come up with creative ways to sell a property, as we've seen. So I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah, so this season is a total roller coaster. I mean, it's like, and you'll see too, for anyone that wasn't in New York during COVID, I was. So you'll see empty New York City. You'll see exactly what it looked like, what it felt like, how scary it was, and how we got through it. And then once, we were able to start doing showings again, how all of a sudden we go from having open houses and parties and events to 7 masks, a face shield, 2 pairs of gloves, and covered in hand sanitizer.
Yeah. You dressed up as the lion from The Witch in the Wardrobe. So then how did you go into that when you couldn't have those events that you are known to have and impress people with?
Yeah, that open house was before COVID. So that was what we were shooting prior to. I was trying to sell 2 apartments, 2 lofts in Tribeca that were connected by a door. And so I decided I was going to list one of them and then use the second one as a surprise. So I put a bureau over the door so no one knew. So people were hanging out for like an hour, and then all of a sudden I was like, hey, I got something to show you all. Let's climb through the wardrobe. And we did. And I had like 1,000 balloons in the other one everywhere. And people were like, there's a whole other apartment back here? What?
I saw the TikTok. You posted on TikTok the whole experience.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was really cool.
Super, and we sold the one that I staged that was beautiful, where I had, the listing, we sold later. The one that people had to get into secretly by climbing through a wardrobe, that one sold right away. The minute people were like, wow, they're like, oh my God, I have to have this. It's secret. Like, it's not secret. I just didn't put it on the market. You can get up with the elevator. It's fine.
Who do you think would be or was your biggest competition this season that you were very much inspired you to sell more?
Honestly, my answer is not going to be great. I mean, my biggest competition is myself in the future. Like, I want to work as hard as I can for that guy, because I'm going to be him before I know it. And I want his life to be great. So everything I do today is for him and his family a year, 2 years from now. And so that's really what keeps me motivated.
That's awesome. And for Zena as well, we've seen that you moved to Brooklyn. Are you fully moved to Brooklyn now out of Soho?
Yeah, we just rented our apartment in Soho to a great tenant. So that's awesome. And we moved into the townhouse. It's basically done. There's like a few little things that were, punch list items, but we're getting used to it. It's very different.
Yeah. What are the biggest differences you think you see?
I mean, in Soho, we were on one floor with outdoor space off the living room and our bedroom, and we were high up, so we had amazing views. Here we have 6 floors.
Oh, wow.
We have to have an elevator to get around. We got stairs, so the baby's on one floor, Amelia's on another. I'm up here. I forgot my phone on the second. Oh my God! So it's like we're just trying to get used to how you live in a space that is super vertical. It's interesting.
About Kirsten Jordan, kind of going back, what's your dynamic like with her this season? She's a powerhouse just like you are, but I can imagine that you work together really well, but also maybe butt heads at points.
Yeah, listen, we're all competing for the same business in this city. Yeah. So whether you're a guy, a girl, young, old, like, be nice, work hard, but like stand your ground. And Kirsten does that for sure. We call her KJ, Kirsten Jordan. But we did a deal together. I was selling Marc Jacobs' townhouse and she brought me the buyer in one day. And so we filmed that. So you'll get to watch that process go down. And that was the last deal I think the show this season follows right before the city got shut down. Like we closed on Friday. A couple days later, Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York announced that he was shutting down the city. And everyone was nervous in the city that they were going to shut down. And the police were saying that they were going to shut down the bridges and the tunnels. They were going to lock the virus on the island because people were assuming that, the COVID hit New York and then was spreading from there. And obviously that's not what happened. But it was crazy. Like this season is going to follow all of that. You're going to see empty New York City. It's going to be nuts.
Is there a property that you're most excited for people to see? The Marc Jacobs, obviously people are going to be stoked, but
yeah,
their little gem that you're really excited about?
This is so because we've been filming this season for so long.
Yeah.
I sold during quarantine. There's a townhouse on 17th Street in Chelsea, 11,000 square feet, private glass garage for a Bentley, private underground pool, just like the craziest townhouse you'd find. Like it's just insane. And so we followed that storyline and I sold it. Hope no spoilers, but sold it during quarantine. Okay. Like, and it was so hard, so insane. And I think people will like watching that story because the house is just beautiful and a lot of design advice and it's really, really cool. But how we got that deal done.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Was that the one with the tile flowers where you dressed up as a lifeguard in or no?
Yes.
Okay. I saw that one. It was gorgeous. The bathroom was insane.
Yeah, that place is crazy.
And you've talked a lot about giving back to the city. It was really cool to see your city trash cleanup and giving back. How has the city, you think, given back to you with all the craziness that's unfolded?
I would not be where I am today if it were not for New York City. And I tell people that all the time. Like, New York is the house. I am just a player. That is it. Like, I sold an apartment yesterday for $20 million. I didn't make it worth $20 million. New York made it worth $20 million. That apartment in the middle of nowhere is worth like $200,000, right? The average home sale price in the United States anyway is $300,000. Like, I get to sell some of the most beautiful, most expensive properties in the world because of New York. So like the least I can do is pick up trash in New York City. So we donate a significant amount of time and money to the city because New York is the house and you got to take care of the house.
I know that was just resonated with a lot of people that came to watch and help clean up. It was very cool to see the community come together in that way. So yeah, thanks for doing that. I did my research and you used to be a soap opera actor and then you came into real estate. So looking back at how much you've done with your life and on the show, what would you say to the guy that, I don't know, felt like he was giving up on his dream and found his actual dream?
I would say a lot. What I would say,
it's a loaded question. So.
Yeah, but I think about that a lot actually. The path to success for everyone exists, but it has not been paved yet. And any brick wall you feel you're hitting, whether it's your dream crumbling or being fired or losing money, is not a brick wall. It is just a speed bump. And so what do you do when you go over a speed bump? You slow down so you don't, get whiplash or knock your head in the seat. Don't fly over a speed bump. You might hurt yourself. You slow down, you take notice of what's happening, and then you keep moving. And that's the most important thing. So I tell myself, listen, everything's going to work out. Buckle up. You have no idea what's coming. Just keep moving.
Looking at the season, what can the audience expect to see in how you dealt with COVID and then, like that resilience you talked about, the speed bump that COVID is obviously more than a speed bump, but you know what I mean?
I mean, listen, I haven't seen the show yet. They don't show it to us. I watch it just like everybody else, right, on TV. But I know what we filmed, and what we filmed was tough. You know, it was, I mean, there was a good period of time there where a lot of us thought maybe we weren't going to make any more money in 2020. Like, how am I supposed to sell anything if 1 million people leave New York City, right? 1 million people left in 3 weeks. It's crazy. Who do I sell those apartments to, right? If there's no need to be in New York because you don't have to go to work, or your kids don't have to go to school, and you don't want to be here because you're nervous about the situation, about the virus, like how do I do that? And at the same time, during that period, I also left the brokerage I was at for 12 years and started my own real estate firm, which was also totally insane and crazy. And viewers will get to see that entire process, everything. I laid it all out in front of the cameras, and we'll see what makes it into the show, but it'll be intense. That's for sure.
And it's your real life. So it's not just something for cameras. I think I'm excited to see how open you are, basically, is what people love to watch with you on the show, that you're not afraid to show when you're stressed or when you're dealing with hurdles. So I'm really excited. Thank you.
Thank you. It'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's reactions.
Yes.